talking about the border and the crisis of the border for as long as I can remember. As an immigrant myself, I'm always a bit insulted at how some Americans talk about people from other nations. Like, you do know the only original people here are the indigenous, right? I mean, the rest of us, we're all imports. We've been called the melting pot of the world for a reason. The Statue of Liberty reads, "Bring me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore, send these the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." It's a message of welcome and hope for a land of opportunity. It certainly doesn't say, "Get out, we're full." In fact, America is far from full. The US population is actually facing major problems with an aging population and falling birth rates. If having children was the ultimate vote of confidence in the future, Americans aren't feeling that confident. So if we don't keep up with immigration, we won't have enough working people to sustain our system over the next 80 years. That's just straight facts. Which is why, as a side note, the party that wants to close the border is also the party that wants to force women to give birth. Because we need workers one way or another. They would just prefer those workers were more white than brown. Plus, keeping people terrified of an invasion or angry that their country's being overrun makes people easier to control. Humans don't make great decisions when we're scared or angry, which is why the party that wants to close the border keeps telling us about everything that should make us mad and afraid. And it doesn't matter if it's Hunter Biden or stolen elections or pronouns. We were supposed to be furious about the economy, but since the economy's doing really well, we've now pivoted back to the border. Republicans are constantly telling us the border is a catastrophe, an urgent crisis that puts us all in danger. But instead of trying to solve the problem, those same representatives that tell us the sky is falling just took a 3-week vacation and are now openly admitting it's a political issue they don't plan to do anything about. Republican Representative Tony Niels from Texas just said the quiet part out loud when he told CNN that he wouldn't vote for any bill to solve the issues at the border because it could help President Biden's approval rating. And that's the truth of it. The Republican Party will cry from the rooftops that the border is an emergency, but they have no actual interest or plans to fix it. The problem itself is worth more than the solution. Fixing the border crisis would mean that they couldn't beat Democrats over the head with it, and that does not serve their bottom line. Republicans have made immigration and the border a central part of their campaign for both the White House and control of both chambers of Congress. Actually solving the border problem is of no interest to them. There is far more to be gained by keeping the mess messy. Over 10 years ago, in 2013, the Democratic-led Senate passed a comprehensive immigration bill with 68 bipartisan votes that President Obama was ready to sign. Unfortunately, all that work went nowhere because the GOP-led House under John Boehner refused to take it up. John Boehner was then run out of his job by the Tea Party and replaced by Paul Ryan, who was run out of his job by the Freedom Caucus. Now we have the chaos that is the GOP-led House, unwilling and unable to get anything accomplished for the American people. In fact, the current House, under the new leadership of Christian nationalist Mike Johnson, is on track to be the most unproductive in modern history. And that should piss you off. Just like it should piss you off that congressional Republicans are now threatening to shut down the government if the Democrats don't pass their hardline immigration bill, H.R. 2. H.R. 2, which the Republican House passed last year with zero Democratic support, is a sweeping bill that would wall off at least 900 miles of the U.S.'s roughly 2,000-mile border with Mexico and resume all Trump-era plans that were interrupted when he was defeated in 2020. They are also trying to tie the passage of this extreme bill to things like continuing military aid to Ukraine, which is deeply dangerous as defeating Russia is essential to our national security. If Russia wins in Ukraine, they'll be emboldened to move into the next nation, a NATO nation, which America will be contractually obligated to defend with boots on the ground. We are literally saving money and lives supporting Ukraine as they fight a war on our behalf. Cutting them off now is not in America's best interest. But that's the bottom line. The Republican Party is no longer working in America's best interest. They are trip-tropping down to the southern border for photo ops and fundraising at the same time that they're bragging that they will provide zero money to fix the problem and shut the whole thing down if they don't get what they want. They won't compromise, they won't negotiate, and they will let people suffer and the crisis continue because they refuse to work with the Democrats. The Democrats, the party that more than half the people in the nation voted for. The Republicans are like, we don't get what we want, no one gets anything. Every day they show themselves to be nothing but obstructionists who benefit more from problems than solutions. For years, the Republican strategy has been to aggressively obstruct everything when a Democrat is in the White House, no matter how many people it hurts, and then turn around and campaign on the idea that the president didn't get anything done. Please, keep in mind that the Republicans could have passed an immigration bill in 2016-2017 when they had control of everything, but they chose to pass Trump's corporate welfare tax instead. They keep telling you their priorities with their actions. It's really time people started listening. Because how long are we going to let them play us like this? There are real problems for us to deal with in America, and we need representatives who want to do the job, not just representatives who want to have the job. And that, my friends, is the difference.